For years we've been talking about, managing nutrition management, managing nutrition management, or maybe some micronutrients and so on and so forth. But there's a huge body of research now in academia that's that's referred to under the blanket umbrella as plant stress. And what the plant stress research now is showing individuals and growers is that the limiting factors to growth, crop development, crop quality, crop improvement, and so on and so forth are really not NPK driven at this point. Yeah, there's some basic, you know, uh, some crop requirements that crops need to receive, obviously, of a variety of nutrition. But what we found over the years is that oftentimes we can elicit plant response and growth with no fertilization. I mean, no NPK whatsoever. And that's a very, very powerful statement because we've seen it over and over and over. Where growers call us, they say the crop's not growing. It looks very, very poor, may die. It looks all yellowed off. Any litany of complaints, and we'll run a SAP test on the crop. We'll identify a few things. None of them are related to NP or K, and then we'll apply a package of perhaps mineral nutrition, biological augmentation, and maybe some carbon fertilization, and zero NPK, and we'll see a profound crop growth and profound plant response. And it took me personally a couple of years before I could really understand what we were seeing out in the field. But now, after experiencing it for quite a few years, what I've realized is that the NPK paradigm is in its last throes of not necessarily relevance, because it'll always maintain some relevance, but dominance. With the new advent of biostimulants, biological inoculants, mineral nutrition, plant analysis, so on and so forth, there's just a huge amount of new opportunities to influence plant growth through biomolecule regulation as opposed to mineral regulation and nutrient management. Furthermore, the nutrient management tools that were in existence previously have not necessarily led us a out of a plant stress situation. They actually lead us oftentimes into a situation where we have more plant stress, such as osmotic stress caused by over fertilization of soluble nutrients. Other ones that exist, such as sulfur toxicity, herbicides, or acid over application. Obviously, some of the others on the list here are more associated with abiotic stress and weather stress, but essentially some of these are induced responses. Furthermore, when you might have a secondary effect from an induced response, such as electrocution. So by electrocution, what do I mean is when you have a short-term spike in your electrical conductivity of the soil after a very large application of soluble nutrition. So what we're seeing on the SAP tests over and over and over in the lab is we're seeing a lot of imbalances in the plants that are potentially being influenced by one or more of these plant stress indicators or plant stress types. And we'll talk later in the series about some of our deluxe analytes. And if any of you are going to the BioSolutions show in Reno in a few weeks, I'm going to be giving a presentation there on how to couple abiotic stress monitoring with mineral nutrition in plant sap. Pretty excited about this presentation because what it does is it pairs some of our more recent advancements in metabolite analysis with the basic analysis on the plant sap of your mineral content. So for me, it's a really exciting opportunity because we're finally able to start to bridge what I've known for years of plant stress as a limiting factor to plant growth, as well as the mineral nutrition and mineral balance, and do it in a more accountable way. So that when we say something like, okay, yeah, there's high sodium in this crop or what have you, but we actually have additional metabolite indicators that indicate salinity as well, both in the plant and soil. So you're adding a layer of confirmation, and you're adding another layer of assurity that you're making the right decision as a grower or agronomist for your customer. So, additionally, the opportunity to couple plant stress managed with mineral nutrition applications allows you a further advantage to intelligently use plant mineral amendments, biological amendments, soil mineral amendments, and soil biological amendments in a really organized way. And not only that, monitor their efficacy, which is something that a lot of the folks in the industry have been looking for. We've seen certain other tools that have shown up in the industry, but right now, this, for a $25 add-on to your SAP test, it's a really nice opportunity to add additional confirmation that yeah, these plants are under this particular type of stress, or a few different types of stress. And that can help you really manage your crop programs and inputs a little bit more insightfully. But ultimately, when you start to talk about all of these advancements and stacking them on top of one another, there's just incredible outcomes that are capable. And when you really take a step back, you go for a hike, you go skiing or whatever you do to decompress, the implications are kind of mind-boggling, and the use cases for regenerative agriculture to improve both environment, crop quality, food outcomes, nutritional content, human health, et cetera, on down the line ad infinitum. It's starting to really get to be a little bit silly how much potential there is. Carbon is king. Thanks again very much, and look forward to seeing you all next week. Take care.